Hey everyone, Mr. CCDV here. I hope everyone is staying safe and quarantined and do not catch the bug that shall not be named, please. I am avoiding it as best as possible, staying 6 feet away from everyone I've ever seen, etc. So please do the same. Make sure that everyone is safe. Stay safe during this time. We will get through this. So please be safe, just like we are. Okay, so Memoirs of a Pogue, Volume 2. A pogue is, again, I said this last time, but a person on ground with unused equipment. Pogue. That's what pogue means. And so for 18 years, I was a pogue as a fueler or as a contract specialist or contracting officer. So there is a lot to talk about. However, I did say I would spend time in AIT as part of my very first memoir. However, over the last couple of weeks, I've realized that I don't actually, there really wasn't much going on in AIT. I mean, I went out on weekend passes with my friends and we partied in hotel rooms and just had a lot of fun. Obviously, that's one of the things that AIT is for. So that's what I did mostly. The first week of AIT in the classroom training lasted 8 weeks, and then we did 2 weeks of hands-on field training. And so the first week that I spent in AIT, I took copious notes. I wrote down everything the instructors ever said. And so my very first notebook from AIT was yay thick, and it had everything that was written in the field manual. Ironically, I didn't realize that at the time. However, after the first test, I realized that the field manual had all the answers, and the tests were multiple choice, and the tests were open book, open note. And the instructors would identify questions on the test and answers to those questions by stomping their feet. So after the first week, the view that my instructors had of my head was this. Because I was reading a book under the table, and they didn't care because I had a 99% rating in the class. I actually ended up as second honor graduate, believe it or not. I should have been first, but I missed a few too many questions. Either way, it doesn't matter. I was honor graduate along with a woman that I was in school with. So we'll skip AIT this time. We'll skip AIT. You know what? We'll just move right on, directly on to Bosnia. That was my first deployment in Bosnia in 1998. So the fighting was over. The houses were all bombed out. There weren't roofs on any of the houses. And we patrolled constantly throughout the northern region of Bosnia. I actually went on a few of those patrols, but my main job, 24 hours on, 48 hours off, was fuel. So I made sure that the fuel HEMT itself was full and that we could dispense gas to the Humvees. The Humvees are what you would consider Hummers now, but they were military grade and everything is really uncomfortable and tight. And I can't even sit in one anymore. But at that time, I was about 100 pounds lighter, so I could fit in a Humvee at the time. But my job specifically was to fuel the Humvees. And so Bosnia in December, we had about 12 inches of snow on the ground constantly. And the contractors that were hired in Bosnia were Kellogg, Brown and Root, or we just called them Brown and Root at the time, not KBR. So it was Brown and Root, and they would come through and fill up the kerosene heaters twice a day, so we would constantly have heat. And that was great. Our little shack was about 6 by 6, and there were 4 of us on shift for that 24-hour shift, and that worked out great. One time, between fueling up the Humvees, we were watching George Strait movie, Pure Country. Oh, Pure Country. That's what we were watching. But we had our feet up on, well, our boots up on the grate of the little safety cage around the heater. And so we had our boots up on the safety cage, just warming our toes up after we had gone out and fueled up a few Humvees. And we literally, all 4 of us were sitting there with our feet up on that safety cage, not realizing what was happening to our boots as the heater was melting the soles of our boots because it was so much more warm with our feet up on the safety cage. So when the movie was done, we put our feet down and we left our boot prints on the floor of the shack that we were working in. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was so much fun. But we all did have to go buy new boots. So I guess that's a bad side of the story. But you know what? That's one of my favorite memories from Bosnia. And I absolutely love it. Look, you guys, that's it for Volume 2. Volume 3 will probably take place in Bosnia as well. But then we'll move on to Iraq afterwards, okay? So you guys stay safe out there. Be good. Have a lot of fun while we're all locked in, okay? All right, guys. Have a great day.